Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Yes, I'm sorry it's a day or so late. Just can't be helped being a little bit under the weather, and it was Father's Day. So, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, Tin Dog podcast number 1266. It's a two-part story, because let's face it, next week it's the last part of the season. 8 episodes in one season. Well, I know my wife's pleased about that, but it just feels awfully quick. It really does. And of course, with it being a two-parter, have I got a lot to talk about? Because let's face it, this is just the setup for next week. The plot kind of splits up neatly into a few distinct areas. There's the business with the holodeck, except it's not. It's a time window. Why a time window, not just an image projection? Well, I'm guessing that's so that you can step through it and alter the past, which means you can then save the day. And that's where Ruby's ended up. Of course, the big thing everyone's going to be discussing and will need me to cover is the exciting world of Sutek. I bring you the gift of death. You just know that at some point, just imagine it, RTD sat there and somebody turns up to fix his computer because, let's face it, he uses a Mac, you can tell. Maybe he can't. Maybe he uses a PC. But somebody turns up from the IT department to fix it and go, "Hi, I'm Sue from technical support." Sue? Technical support. That's brilliant. I'll have that. And then squirrels it away for a later date. Perhaps not. There's a few things I need to mention. Let's face it, I predict definitely that there's going to be a big Finish sale this week and next week, pushing all of the old Sutek stuff. It's nice that Gabriel's here, still available to work. He's 91, 91. My notes are an absolute mess, so let's go through them. Number 1, find something for Rose Noble to do. Yeah, she doesn't really do much here. She turns up and is nice that she's there, and she helps Ruby a bit. She's kind of companion to Ruby, I guess. And she's very enthusiastic about how much stuff's got going on. Perhaps what Ruby's investigating, the thing at Shoreditch, well, no, wherever it is important. Perhaps not. Oh, hang on. Like I said, my notes are all over the place. Dad never mentioned a granddaughter. Yeah, Dad, the Brigadier didn't actually mention it. But I'm sure that it's on the files because Ian and Barbara would definitely have mentioned that they were travelling with a granddaughter. And I'm pretty sure that they were debriefed and that was in the Black Archive on the big wall of, nodding acquaintances. Okay, let's talk about Sutek. First off, the big bat wolf thing that appears on top of the TARDIS, okay? How long has it been there? Has it been there since the Goblin attack? Probably. But here's the important bit. There's a massive great red gem in the middle of its forehead. A ruby, perhaps. So perhaps Ruby, the Ruby, is, well, more than human. Let's face it, her DNA doesn't exist anywhere else. And it's there. On the subject of mystery characters, of course, and looking at my mess of a notes, I just need to mention a few cutaway things. No one else seems to have gone down this road with the wild speculation rumours, and I need to do this now. Flood, Mrs. Flood. Flood, water, pond, river. Yeah. Why can't Mrs. Flood, talking to the camera, who has seen a TARDIS before and knows what's going on, be River Song? Regenerated. Go on. I know there are 1,000 reasons why you wouldn't do that. But it would make sense. And that would, of course, do the whole Susan thing. Because her being Susan's a bit weird, and let's face it, as far as the TV's concerned, she's been dumped off somewhere else. She's still in post-invasion Earth, but obviously she's not. She's gone to Gallifrey, she's done all sorts with Big Finish, but let's not go down that road just yet. But no one else seems to have gone. Flood, water, pond, river, it's all the same thing. On the subject of names, we've got a character named Sullivan, who needs to turn up and spend some time with Ruby in order for Ruby to explain what's going on next week. But Sullivan, you've got Harry Sullivan. It's a callback to the back. And let's face it, on the callback front, you've got Unit mentioning back in the 70s, we told you not to have time technology. And so the room is full of apparent 70s technology. It could have looked a lot more 70s. On the subject of 70s technology, VHS? I know. Would it have killed you to go for U-matic or even, well, my own personal favourite, Betamax? Betamax. How I would have loved that to have gotten named. It doesn't matter. I like that there has to be a label on the VHS with the word VHS written on it. Because people will recognise and they'll go, oh yeah, tape. Yeah, got it. Tiny throwaway moments. Things like there's a Lenny Henry picture in the grandma's bedroom on the wall. Now, here's the thing. Len was in an episode of Doctor Who, playing a computer genius. So has the grandma got a picture of Len on the wall, the comedian who is beloved by everyone in the UK? Or a picture of a computer genius on a wall because he's important to her in her community, because he's a great important figure who got taken down by Jodie's doctor? Either way, it's interesting. Why would an old lady have a computer genius photograph on the wall? It makes sense for her to have a picture of Len, the comedian, on a wall. Let's face it, even I had one of those in my wall of gorgeous autographs. Bonnie Langford. Yes, this is worth mentioning. At the time when I was a child, I spoke and thought as a child and disliked Bonnie. The work that Big Finish has been put in and fixing my opinion has brought a newfound love for Bonnie's character Mel. Sue and Mel. Mel and Sue. See what you did there? So, Mel is spending time with Sue, yeah. And they're getting to like each other and things like that. It is the bad wolf. We get it, but even Sue doesn't know. Is Sue a real person? I know that you've got the Harbinger person. They really should name check and put everyone's name through anagrams. And if you're an ancient god, do you really have that much time to spend with anagramness? I don't know. There are moments which are very Russell. Things like definitely not the Prime Minister. Oh no, we don't. And the Theresa May entry of the walking. Oh, here's the thing. If someone delivers a speech in a programme, it's like revealing a plan in a heist movie. If you see the plan get revealed, you know that the plan's going to go horribly wrong. If you see a speech be delivered, you know that that speech is never going to be delivered later on in the plot, unless something else is going on, like an assassination. So perhaps that's why it's there. You just keep getting the feeling that the whole Sue storyline isn't as important because another Harbinger who is crying for no reason is just there. Are they all tools? Are they real people? I just don't know. Does anyone else have an issue with understanding what the Doctor's saying? It's probably just me and my old ears. Yes, I know that Lenny has been brought in because that Ruth Madeley wasn't available. But it does feel that it's like, hey, we've got a new advisor, and they've got a 13-year-old boy. Have you seen how complicated the child labour laws are in the UK? How difficult it would be? Yes, might be a child genius, I get it, but no. And the minute there's any problems, you'd have to evacuate. You could only work for a certain number of hours per day. Yeah, it's just not up there. The question of whether Miss Flood is evil kind of sprung to my head, and I went, oh yeah, definitely evil. Why, you say? Well, she refuses to make the old lady a cup of tea. And anyone who refuses to make someone an old cup of tea, well, that's just plain evil. But here's the thing. This is a part 1 of 2. And part 1s of 2 are notoriously good because you go, yeah, I'm with this. This is great. I've bought into this. And then you've got to pay off a week's worth of waiting about. And we've fallen for this before. We really have. I'm sure I've got other things written down in my notes, but you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Because as I said, I'm not feeling at my best. And I want to at least upload this so that you can experience the exciting world of, well, Doctor Who reviews. So is Sullivan Harry's child? I'd like to think so. Is it Harry and Naomi's child? Well, that's a can of worms. Bring back Osgood! Or am I the only one saying that? I don't think I am. I think I'll go and worry about unit dating. Remember that 1979 followed 1980, and there's only 1 day separating the two. So seeing you from 1980 and seeing you from 1979 really isn't that much of a problem. But we've always had problems with that sort of thing. Oh, if you get the chance, skip back and listen to some episodes of Dead Ringers of late. There's been some very nice Doctor Who stuff on there. I think I'll go and watch some Betamax. Until next time, be seeing you. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.